on prayer. Now, I have read in the Real Far Country about the ionosphere that reflects our thoughts and desires and back to us in an automatic manner. And in fact, what I understand is that, except I'm wrong, is that we'll get back exactly what is reflected back to us, exactly what we projected into the ionosphere. And in a sense, it seems like you reap what you sow. So, Duane, with this knowledge in view, I think we become some sort of creators of everything through our concentration and focus of what we want to do or what we want or something like that. So I want to ask you, with this kind of understanding, is there actually a need for prayer that is all over the place?
Well, again, did the birds pray? So, yes, it is. Rebisar describes how the different layers work in a reflection, and that shows you we're in a bubble here. It's just a bubble, and it all reflects. And so this is where people become self-convinced by the very idea that they can think of ideas. They can create thought. Yeah, they become creators, and many people think, oh, gee, well, I could be like a god. I can create. Well, you see that with the governments and the people that rule the planet. That's what they're doing. They're creating situations where they rule and take over others, so they play the god roles. And this is what most people are subject to, and it's very, very real. And so, but there are ways around this. They cannot curtail your real awareness unless you allow it. And so that's something you decide with yourself. The thoughts are interesting. The prayer idea, again, that was created to get people to beg, from others. Yes, this is where the gods were created. And you see it all over. You see it, why do people, why is there a resistance or a rebellion or demonstrations? And again, and why are they demonstrating to a government that controls them? Because these people for lifetimes have been taught and rehearsed to beg. And that's what prayer is. It's just begging. And yes, we make petitions to life, you might say, and they are heard. Sometimes the real guides step in, or others, or whatever. It just depends on what the person asks for. Of course, we all do that. And it's something that is, it's just part of our makeup. And we decide, and we eventually figure it out. But to the point to where, we have this religious idea, because all religion is sacrifice. This has been the whole idea. You are to sacrifice yourself. That's the religious idea. But they doctor it up to make it look pretty, like it's something that it's not. And it's really sacrificial. Again, do the animals and birds do this? And do they destroy their environment? But the people that sit and pray and worship and all these things, these are the ones that destroy their environment because they've been taught to do so. They've been taught to do that because this is the only way they can be controlled. And there are others that want to control them. So do any of these systems here make sense? No, they don't. They really don't. And so, but again, it's up to each person how they decide to agree with them, etc. And I'm not saying, no, we don't do rebelling and bringing violence into it. No, that doesn't make sense at all. Again, life is awareness. It's an isness. So we've come up through these ideas, and as we grow up here, we go along with the social behavior of things because we don't know anything else. But at a certain point, what makes sense? Look, just the sun shining makes more sense than what's going on with this world. So does it make sense to comply with this world when individuals are, they're given propaganda thinking that, oh, these are bad people over here. You want to join the services and let's go attack them, and we'll destroy them so we have peace on the earth. It's always that idea to destroy something to have peace. And so again, this world is like it is. It's not going to change. This realm is not going to change. You're going to get little perks here and there, okay? And you're going to want to try to live a peaceful life. It's not about that. That's not why you're here. It's just like a big classroom. You're in a big classroom, and it's not about, oh, gee, I want to just lay down and this is where I want to make my home. Well, you can, but someone's going to come along and kick you when you're trying to lay in the corner over there, the classroom. Some of the kids are going to make fun of you and throw things on you, or the trash can or something on you, just to bother you, aren't they? Because that's how this world is. It's not going to change. We're not here to change the world. That's not the idea. We're here to recognize what we don't need and what makes sense from all of that, to becoming more aware and recognizing what is real. And we need this experience. And the fast track is that the faster the individual figures it out, the better they are, and they can get on with things. And you might say do their part to earn their way, just like anything else, just like while we're in this world. So yes, Charles, that and a lot more. Again, the prayer idea, we've known this for lifetimes, and it's still here, because you leave this place. Look at all the people that have left this place thousands of years ago. Well, they're back, and the world's the same. You still have religions, you still have politics, you still have the spiritual past. You have all these systems, education. Now you have science and all that. Now they've come into this life, and it's all the same thing. People think that only in church do they worship and pray. No, everybody is worshiping and praying creation. They're, adamantly adoring creation and all the thrills and sparks. Well, that's fine. I've never said it's bad. It's not good or bad or whatever. It's choice. But the end result, do you see where it's going? People look at what has been created thinking that, oh, we're better off. We've got better cars, we've got better roads, whatever. No, it's not. Everything that's been created a particular way, and it's been created a particular way so that it is a distortion. There's ways to create things that don't cause that, but it hasn't been done yet. And so trying to add to a system that's distorted, well, that's a toughie. It's not going to cure the system. And the system is not interested, because the system's all about control. Everything has been established here for control. That's it. Not a better life, not to make people happier or anything like that. No, it's all about control, and it's disguised. So the praying idea, yes, anybody can do that. You can pray for things or whatever, and you can have it. And it could be so. It can work because it's mind reflective. It's ideas. Just like when you create a document on your computer, it's in cyberspace, and then you push the print button, and all of a sudden, there it is. It's in the physical. It comes around, and it's a physical thing. It's a printed document. And so, creating an idea and then making it into something physical and personal, well, again, that's a choice. But you've been here how many lifetimes now that you can't even imagine? Do you want to keep doing the same things that you've always done, because it will only lead to the same place? And that is, you'll just grow old and you'll forget you were here. So to have a focus, like you were talking about before, the fast track, is to learn to focus on the isness life is, and to stand real with that and take the risk. That's how you eventually free yourself from all of this. Otherwise, you just simply agree to it, and it's a sound good idea, that's all. But prayer is a choice, And again, we've been subject to this like everything else. I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's choice. Everybody has the right to choose. Nothing is negated here. We don't negate anything. It's just simply choice. And you see what the world is choosing. And when you look into the real side, when you look in the back of the curtain, they're all just running into future darkness because it's only getting worse. You look at the last 100 years, and like I've said, and just the United States alone, we're here in the United States. Has it gotten better? Look at all the political speeches and all this stuff and all the so-called progress and whatever. You know, with all that, it's only gotten worse. It's never gotten better. It only appears to have gotten better. It appears that you've gotten a better job, Charles, but no, it's gotten worse, and it will continue to do so because this is how the system has been created. And the individuals that created it, they don't fully understand how what they've created gets worse. They're thinking in their minds, oh, we'll just take over, we'll control others, and we'll make it all look good. But they don't realize that because of what they've created, it gets worse, not better. You may have a better job for a few moments, oh, you make some money, etc. But you're still just growing old and to the point where everything in front of you just deteriorates, and there's just more control, which we've seen, especially in this lifetime since I've been here. I look at myself as when I was a child till now. You know, it's totally abrasive, and it's getting more so every single moment. Yeah, so much for prayer. You can pray as much as you want. So now you understand how prayer works. It's a reflection of the individual's request. And really the individual has to decide to step up and do something about themselves, thinking that there are gods that are going to give them some kind of miracle. Well, again, everybody's in their own thought form, self-convinced. That's what prayer becomes. It becomes a self-convinced position of a belief idea, you see. And these people are easy to manipulate and control. And that's why the system likes them for the most part.